Hi, Erica. Thanks, Boo Boo. Hi, Rochelle. Hi, just saying hi. Hi, Justin. Hi, Sparkle Tree. Hi, Vampy. Hi, Glenda. Hey, Wolf King. Hey, Paul. Hi, Justin. Hi, Winter Moon. Hi, Laura. I'm good. How are you? Hi, Cece. And thank you guys for your heart me's and hitting that goal so fast. Thank you. Welcome in, everybody. Hi, Mace. Hi, Ravens. Hi, Kim. Hi, Michelle. Hi, JJ. Hey, Catherine. Hi, Spiker Mom. Hi, James. Hi, Lily. Hi, Lulu. Hi, Vampy. Happy Saturday, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hi, Janelle. How are you? I'm good, Justin. Thank you for asking. Hi, Lonnie. Oh my gosh, really? That's so exciting, Lonnie. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Saturday. How's everybody's weekend? Anybody have any big Memorial Day plans? Hi, Le Spicy Kitten. How you been? Cece, which accent? Thanks for the follow, Prom King. Welcome to the porch. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh no, yeah, that was my goal. Thank you. Yes, that was my French accent. Thank you very much. No, you were not imagining things. I just didn't know if my other accent came out too. Oh my god, Winter Moon, you added a UFO! Yeah! Yay! How fun. Thanks. Welcome to the Porch Pals. I'm good, Viola. How are you? Spicy Kitten, I'm good. How are you doing? Hi, Joker. Happy Saturday. Hi, Paulo. Oh, thanks. You checked it out. You like it? Thanks, boo-boo. All right, guys, you can go ahead and write your story requests that you'd like to hear tonight in all capital letters in the chat, and I will write them down and then we'll vote. All capital letters, whichever story you'd like to hear tonight, and then I will put them in the poll and we will vote. Thank you, Annette. Such a pizza cutie. Thank you, Annette. That one's so cute. Thanks, Paulo. I had a lot of fun putting it all together. It was really fun. By the way, you guys, Paulo, who's in here right now, is my friend that's in the La Lechuza story. Thank you, Cats, for the money gun. Hi, Lisa. Hello, Dawn. Thank you for the cozy cryptids. And thank you for the friendship necklace. And welcome in, everybody. Oh, look at you, Lonnie, pulling out a random one. Random. No, not Cats and Trans. Cats and Coffee just gave me a money gun. Hi, Lemons. Hi, Deborah. Thanks for the paper crane. The one where my friend had a concussion? I don't know which one that is. Okay, Spiker Mom, I got yours. By the way, if you haven't yet, feel free to write your request in all capital letters and I will write it down and we will put it in a poll. Hello, Bravo. How are you? Thank you, Spicy Kitten. I know, Michelle, you missed Molly last night. Oh, Michelle, I just saw your comment. You're probably right. I didn't even think of that. Thank you, Michelle. You're so on top of it. And yeah, Spiker Mom, you got it right too. Thank you guys. Hi, Perfect Stranger. Hi, Brandy. Welcome to the porch, where everybody's putting in their story requests right now. And then I put them up on a poll. We vote for them. And then whichever one wins, I read. They are all stories I have written. They're all available on my YT channel. And they are bedtime stories that are spooky, so you guys can fall asleep. So most people have fall asleep to my bedtime stories playlist and then have favorites that they like to hear live. So if you are new, don't worry about requesting any. You can just listen and find if you like them or not. But welcome in. And if you are new here, anybody, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. And if you guys could do me a big favor while I set up the first poll, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner if you are on TT? And there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow our beautiful porch. Also sharing to your story, sharing to your friends, and tapping away. All extremely helpful. Thank you so much. Be right back with the first poll for us to vote. And thank you, Yaya. All right, you guys, the first poll is ready. And apparently you guys have all want some scary stories tonight because all my scariest stories were repeatedly requested this evening. So I figured I'd let them duke it out. And this is the poll that Lovely is going to hate. But this is the battle of my spookiest stories, minus the Baker Hotel. The Baker Hotel I added on because it was a request, and it's not one of my scary. I mean, it's scary, but it's not in the. But the first four that are A, B, C, and D are deemed my scariest stories. So, let's see who wins. We've got the crawl space, the camper van, the maintenance man, the man in the red coat, and the Baker Hotel. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner in that blue box if you're on TT. And you can vote up to 50 times. And you can vote for more than one story. Who's it gonna be? Hi, Holly. Oh, Viola, you're in for a treat. Is it Viola or Viola? Am I saying it wrong? So far, the man in the red coat is winning, which honestly surprises me a lot. The crawl space was the one requested the most tonight. Interesting. Lovely. Lovely said, good, I've done my job then. Oh, look at that. The winner is the camper van. And I love this one. And Lovely won't leave during this one, so that's good. Because Lovely literally leaves during crawl space and maintenance man. Yaya said, hey. Me too, Michelle. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. It literally gets requested more than any other story I have. And I literally don't put it on the polls all the time because it gets requested so much. It would be on the polls every single time. So I finally put it up today, expecting it to for sure win. And it didn't. Camper van. I love that. Shocking. I mean, I love crawl space too, but... Lovely, that's so funny. That's hilarious. Really, Lily? That's so crazy. Well, and you know what? It's like, I didn't mean to write ones that scary. And once I was done with them and everybody's reaction, I was like, I'm not going to do any more with humans. Because it can't be coincident that the ones people deem the scariest are the ones with humans. So I keep it. Plus, I prefer supernatural paranormal anyway. I don't really like creepy humans. I barely like ghosts, okay? Really, Bonnie, you do. You keep me on my toes. Okay, Gabrielle, this one's probably out of the ones that are deemed scariest. This one is in there, but it's the bottom one. The two that are the scariest, or the three that are the scariest, didn't win. Okay, guys, I will be right back with the tale of the camper van. I just have to pull up the script and change the background. I am streaming on 3 platforms, so just give me a little bit of patience. I'm a one-woman show over here, so I will be right back with that story. And feel free to hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. And there is a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it really helps us grow our beautiful porch. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. And I do write and record all these stories myself. So if you want to hear them, they are always available on my YT channel or any of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Also, all the links are in my bio. I'll be right back with the camper van. Love you, Kim. Oh, I see what you did. I pinned it before. I see. Sorry, Kim. Sorry. Kim, you switched that out with the quickness. I know. I noticed it as soon as I pinned it. Sorry, girl. By the way, y'all, the story for Monday is currently 25 minutes long, so I need to trim it down. It's 25 minutes long, but it's so good. Oh my God, I'm so excited. We're very excited for Monday's story because the Spooky Bookies, which is Kim's paranormal community that I hang out in every day, we're going on an adventure in Monday's story. And it's very exciting, but that's why it's 25 minutes long, because there's like several people in it, and it's a complicated story. So it's really fun though. It's spooky and fun. Thank you, Holly. I love that guy. I love him. Yeah, Cece, it's actually a very famous folklore tale, probably the most well-known in the country. Even people who aren't into paranormal probably know this story, and I am going to share the fact that I think it's BS. I think it was a narrative that was spun to benefit a certain people and not others, and I'm going to share the version I think really happened. So it's gonna shake it up a little bit. It's gonna shake it up. Yeah, pretty much that's what it's gonna be. Thank you, Lily. All right, quick. Thank you, Spiker Mom. Okay, quick swig. And I will be oh, thank you, V. And I'll be right back with the camper van. Spicy, you're so cute. You know what, Rochelle? That's a really good guess. Damn, that's a really good guess, girl. That's like A+ guess. I'm so impressed by that guess. Like, hell yeah. Oh, you're a medical scientist. That explains it. That explains a lot. That's a phenomenal guess. And I need to do a story about that, actually. But no, that's not it. But I kind of wish it was now. I don't have to cut the time down, Michelle. I just figured 25 minutes is a huge chunk of the live. So the nights that story wins, we would have one less story because that's almost the length of 2 stories. Does that make sense? So that story would take up, fitting in 2 stories, it would just be 1. Does that make sense? So if you guys are down for a long story, I'll do one. Yeah, right, Michelle? Yeah, so it's just because I want to get more stories in for you guys. Because if it's a night I blab a lot and that story wins, we might only get three stories in. You know what I mean? So because like La Lechuza, that one is 25 minutes long too. So I don't do that. I don't put that one on the polls a whole lot because it takes up a lot of the time. But the nights I decide to go longer, I usually put that one in the polls. But I don't want to tell you guys all my secrets because then you'll know. Like all too well. Yeah, I'm going to try to shorten it, but maybe I could do 2 versions, but we'll see. Because like I do have versions that I read for the live, but they feel very incomplete. It's hard to do that. An all-night live event, that would be crazy. I'd fall asleep. Yeah, Jenna, you're right. Okay, guys, enough people said don't shorten it. If the Edwards family says don't shorten it, I won't shorten it. It's so funny because you know what's funny is like people think I talk seductively, but this is just my voice. Like I'm literally like once you get to know me more, like you will hear that this is what I talk like all the time. So it's not like I'm like turning on some like, hey, you know what I mean? Like this is just how I sound. Would you say just hot and talking? I guess. Yeah. Like, yeah, that's exactly right. This is just how I sound. Have you heard? Wait, what? Delilah. Yes, I love Delilah. Wait, what did you just say? Yeah, see, Rochelle said, see, thank you, Rochelle. Rochelle said on Witchy Wednesdays, I sound the same because this is just my voice. So even when I'm on camera in the daytime, I'm not, this is just my voice. It's always been like this. That's actually part of the reason I started doing this was because my entire life, people have fallen asleep to my voice, sometimes to my detriment. But you get that too, Lily. Yeah. Well, and like my best friend used to call it like, she used to just be like, okay, sultry since birth, because she always thought my voice was very sultry. Thank you, Viola. But what's funny is when I was younger, because I have a deep voice for a woman, and when I was younger, you know, especially like during the Paris Hilton days when she's like, oh my God, you know, I remember like really hating my voice. Thank you, Jenny. I get told that all the time, and my dream is to do books. I would love to narrate books. Because I do write my own stories, but I would absolutely love to narrate like other people's audiobooks. Yeah, James. Shh, James, that's a secret. But yeah, I used to hate my voice when I was younger because I thought I sounded like a boy, kind of. And then as I got older, I just kind of embraced it. I know Barb, I actually know her. And that's what's the funniest part is her real voice is nothing like the voice she used to use on the show. Her real voice is like mine. Her real voice is super deep. Thanks, Jackie. I appreciate that. Well, I also do have a little bit of like a monotone thing going on. So, like I sound bitchy sometimes, I think, when I don't mean to. Like I'll be like, oh, that's really cool. And it sounds like I'm like, if you can't see my facial expressions and stuff, it sounds like I'm just constantly sarcastic bitch all the time. You know what I'm saying? I have to work harder to be like I'm so sorry. See, that doesn't even sound real. Yeah, I'm so sorry. That sounds like I'm lying and I'm not sorry. But you have to like see my face to have me say that. So I will say it's very what the people you guys all told me, the girl I sound like, and then I looked her up and I'm like, dude, she has the same thing I have. What's her name again, guys? Dakota. I just keep thinking of Fanning. No, Dakota Johnson. Yeah. I watched like interviews and skits of her and I'm like, oh, yep. And like her SNL skit is about how she's such a dry, sarcastic bitch. And I was like, huh, okay. That kind of checks out a little bit. The Dakotinator, is that what you call her, Matt? Yes. Everybody when they come into my live, they always think I sound like her. I was like, I don't even know what she sounds like. So, because I've never seen that movie. So I looked her up and I absolutely do. We do sound alike. Yep. We definitely sound alike. And once I like looked her up, I was like, oh, I can't unhear it now. Now I can hear it. You hear Aubrey Plaza. Yeah, that too. And that's what I'm saying is I have that like monotone, bitchy sarcasm tone where people think I'm being mean sometimes when I'm like not. You know what I'm saying? And Christian. Wait, Christian? Why? Christian? Why? Oh, is that the name of the guy in the movie? Oh, I thought you meant like Christians, like Christian, like the religion. I don't know why. Spooky, yeah, yep. And yeah, is it really? I didn't even know. I was like, who? It's a character in one of her movies. Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, okay. Got it. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. Quick swig. And I will be right back with the tale of the camper van. And Jesse, usually I start 15 minutes ago, but we've been blabbing. Just saying, there probably is video available out there, but it was before, like, I don't even think news stations now keep their broadcasts online in a copy, but there are clips floating around places. Thank you for the follow, Scott. Welcome to the porch. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. Oh wait, this is the wrong song. What is going on? There we go. That was my Banshee song. Thank you, Viola. Thank you, Hito. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the camper van. Hi, Ian. It started as one of those dreamy road trips. A meandering escape from the monotony of my 9 to 5. I had quit my job, sold most of my stuff, and hit the road in my little camper van with my sweet cat Alfie as my co-pilot. It was just me, my cat, and the open road. Tracing ribbons of asphalt across America. The plan was simple. No itinerary. No deadlines. Just freedom. Somewhere along the way, the Appalachian Mountains called my name. And I decided to park near the trail just for a few days of peace. I found a spot that was idyllic, or so I thought. It was tucked into a grove of towering pines, with the Appalachian Trail weaving nearby like the thread through an old tapestry. The air was cool and smelled like moss and earth, and I felt like a pioneer discovering some uncharted corner of the world. After a day of hiking, I returned to my van with aching legs and a happy heart. Alfie greeted me with his usual loving meow, demanding to be picked up and fed. After some hugs and head nuzzles, I fed him, made myself a bowl of chili, and I settled into my makeshift bed to read by lantern light. The stillness was incredible. No cars, no city hum. Just the occasional hoot of an owl or rustle of the wind. And that's when I first noticed the strange smell. It was faint but unmistakable, like something metallic and sweet. Blood, maybe? I brushed it off as my imagination, and I tried to focus on my book. But the smell lingered, making my stomach twist. Alfie's ears flattened and he let out a low, uneasy growl, and my nerves prickled. "It's just a deer or something," I mumbled, more to reassure myself than for Alfie. But I couldn't shake the feeling that we were not alone. That night, Alfie was on edge and I didn't sleep well. The van, usually my cozy little cocoon of safety, felt more like a fragile tin can. I kept waking up, sure that I had heard something. A branch snapping, the faint crunch of footsteps. I peeked out the windows, but the forest was just a wall of black. Alfie curled up against me, his fur bristling. By morning, I convinced myself it was nothing. I decided to explore the area, sticking to well-marked trails. The sun was bright and the forest alive with birdsong. And I started to feel silly for being so spooked last night. That was until I crossed paths with a man. He was old, with a face weathered like tree bark, and eyes that didn't quite match his friendly smile. He wore a faded plaid shirt and carried a rusty hatchet slung casually over his shoulder. We exchanged the usual pleasantries, but there was something about him that made my skin crawl. "You camping around here?" he asked, his tone just a shade too curious. I hesitated. "Just passing through," I lied. His smile widened. "Not a lot of folks come up this way. It's real quiet and peaceful, you know?" "Yeah, that's kinda what I was looking for," I said, gripping my hiking poles just a little tighter. He nodded, lingering a beat too long before continuing down the trail. As soon as he was out of sight, I turned back toward the van, my heart thudding. Thank you, John. Thank you, Viola, for the capybara. When I got back, something felt off. The side door was ajar, though I was sure I had locked it. Inside, things had been moved. Not much, just little things. My mug was on the counter instead of the sink, and Alfie's litter box had been shifted a few inches. My stomach dropped. Someone had been in here. I grabbed my pepper spray and I did a thorough check, but whoever it was gone. I double-checked the locks and I told myself that I'd leave in the morning. But as night fell, that metallic smell returned, stronger this time, clinging to my clothes and my hair. Alfie hissed and his tail puffed up like a bottle brush. Around midnight, I heard it. Not just the imagined sounds of the forest, but something deliberate. Footsteps, heavy, circling the van. Alfie's growl turned to low, guttural yowls as the footsteps stopped just outside the driver's side door. Clutching the pepper spray like a lifeline, I sat there in silence. Minutes dragged into hours and I finally drifted into a restless sleep, jerking awake at every little sound. By dawn, I was so ready to leave. But when I opened the door, I froze. There were handprints on the van, smudged and greasy like someone had run their fingers along the windows. And on the hood, there was something worse. A small pile of animal bones, arranged in a crude circle. My stomach churned, but I forced myself to clean it up, tossing the bones into the woods before starting the engine. I needed to get out of here. Hi, Sherry. But the van wouldn't start. The battery was dead, even though I had checked it just a day ago. Panic bubbled in my chest as I tried and failed to get it going. I was stranded. I spent the day trying to flag down hikers, but no one passed by. The isolation pressed in on me, the forest now feeling less like a haven and more like a trap. That night, I barricaded the doors with everything I could find. A folding chair, a cooler, even Alfie's litter box. I kept a kitchen knife within arm's reach and I huddled under my blankets just waiting for morning. The smell came back thicker than ever, and with it, a low, guttural hum. It wasn't an animal. It sounded human, but rough. The sound moved closer, circling the van. Thank you, Sherry. And then something heavy slammed against the side. Alfie screeched and darted under the bed as I grabbed the knife, my heart pounding. The van rocked as whatever it was slammed into it again. And then, nothing. I stayed awake until the first rays of sunlight pierced through the trees. When I finally opened the door, I saw it. Deep gouges in the metal like claw marks. And a message scrolled in what looked like ash across the windshield. It said, "Leave." I didn't need to be told twice. I spent the day rigging a makeshift solar charger on a whim, praying it would give the battery enough juice to start the engine. By late afternoon, I tried again, and the van roared to life. Relief washed over me as I threw my stuff in the back and I prepared to leave. Good night, Vampy. Sweet dreams. As I pulled onto the narrow dirt road, I saw him again. The man from the trail, standing at the edge of the woods watching me, with that same unsettling smile. This time the hatchet wasn't slung casually over his shoulder. It was in his hand, the blade glistening in the fading light. I didn't stop. My hand shook as I gripped the wheel, my eyes darting to the rearview mirror every few seconds. It wasn't until I was miles away back on the main road that I let out the breath that I had been holding. I wish I could say that that was the end of it. But when I stopped for gas, I noticed something chilling. On the back of the van, written in mud, was one single word. Soon. I drove through the night, not stopping until I was well beyond the Appalachian Trail. And to this day, I don't know what I encountered out there. A deranged local? Bigfoot? Something else? All I know is that Alfie and I escaped with our lives. And one hell of a story. And now every time I get into my van, I check the locks twice. And I keep Alfie close, just in case. And that's the tale of the camper van. Yeah, Spiker Mom, that's why it's always voted in my top scariest stories. It's definitely up there, according to the Porch Pals. Probably number 4. I would say Crawl Space and Maintenance Man are like 1 and 2 tied probably, and then 3 is probably Man in Red Coat, and 4 is probably Camper Van. Oh, thanks, Thay. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Rich. Thank you. Yes, I tell spooky bedtime stories. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Thank you, Viola. What do I do, Cece? I spike internal quotes? What does that mean? Thank you, Spooky Mama. Welcome in. Welcome to the porch. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax. Hi, Chris. Thanks, Reverend. I appreciate that. Yes, I am not a battler. No, thank you. Lily had just put it up on the poll. It was just on the last poll. Thank you, Lauren. Welcome to the porch. We're glad to have you here. You don't feel good, Lorna? I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. Get some rest and drink plenty of water. Everybody welcome in Lauren. It's her first time on the porch. See you tomorrow, Lorna. Get some rest. Feel better. We love you. Oh, hi, Stardust. Yay. You deserve some rest. All right, you guys. I'm going to set up the next poll. And if you guys could do me a big favor while I'm setting that up, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner if you're on TT? And there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow our beautiful porch. Also sharing to your stories, sharing to your friends, tapping And in the chat, writing key relevant words throughout the night does help the AI algorithm categorize us appropriately and send us out to the right people. Hi, Reagan from North Carolina. Welcome in. Reagan is my mother's name, and I am from North Carolina. What a quinky dink. Hi. Thank you, Spooky Mama. And I saw that you guys said you followed me on YT earlier. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. We have Spearfinger versus the Yule Hunger versus the Sasquatch Stalker versus the Man in the Red Coat versus the Fresno Nightcrawlers. Mwah. You can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner, and you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Who's it going to be? Spearfinger, the Yule Hunger, Sasquatch Stalker, the Man in the Red Coat, or the Fresno Nightcrawlers? Man in Red Coat's coming in hot. Left's probably Red Coat or Spearfinger, one of the two. Well, then you're in the right place, 8 Elamaya, because we listen to this music all night. I know. Why does nobody like the Nightcrawlers? Why don't you guys like them? Spiker Mom. I bet you if it walked through your backyard on your security camera, you'd take it seriously. Oh, thank you, Trisha. I love that one. Yeah, that was a close one. All right, the winner is the man in the red coat. But the Fresno Nightcrawlers really did come back with a vengeance. Thanks, guys. That was close. Yep, the man in the red coat. Thank you, Trisha, for the popular and the cozy cryptid. All right, you guys. I will be right back with the man in the red coat. Feel free to share it out, please. Repost it. And tap the screen as much as you can with your little fingers. And grab a beanbag chair. Grab a hammock. Check out the shooting stars. Sit back and relax. And welcome to the porch. Happy Saturday. Have a good night, Cece. Thanks for coming in. Yes, Matt, that was the goal. I'm glad you noticed. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the man in the red coat. It was December, and I was staying at my aunt's old farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. You know the kind of place? Creaky wooden floors, drafty windows, and a silence so thick it feels like it's pressing in on you. My aunt had passed away earlier that year, and I had volunteered to clean out the house before it was sold. I thought it would be peaceful, a chance to get away from the city and clear my head. But I was wrong. The first few days were fine. The house was cold, but the fireplace worked. And I spent my days sorting through old photo albums and boxes of my aunt's knickknacks. At night, I would sit by the fire with a book, listening to the wind howl outside. It was lonely, but not scary. Not yet. Then, on the fourth night, something changed. I was in the kitchen making tea when I heard it. A knock at the front door. 3 sharp raps. Like someone was impatient. My heart skipped a beat. The house was miles from the nearest town, and it was past 10 p.m. Who the hell would be out here? I crept to the door, and I peered through the people. Standing on the porch was a man in a long red coat. His face was pale, almost ghostly, and his eyes, I can't explain, but they looked wrong. Too dark. He was smiling, but it wasn't a friendly kind of smile. It was the kind of smile that made my stomach twist. I didn't open the door. I stood there frozen until he knocked again. This time it was louder and more insistent. I shouted for him to go away, my voice trembling. The knocking stopped for a moment and there was silence. And then I heard his voice, low and smooth, like oil sliding over glass. He said he just needed a little help, that he was cold, and he asked if I would let him in. I didn't answer. I backed away from the door, my heart pounding. I grabbed my phone to call the police, but there was no signal, of course, and the landline hadn't worked forever. I spent the rest of the night sitting in the living room, clutching a fireplace poker, staring at the door. He didn't knock again, but I could feel him out there waiting. The next morning, I convinced myself that maybe it had been a prank or someone who actually really was in need. But when I opened the door, there were footprints in the snow leading up to the porch, but not away. I tried to shake it off and I told myself it wasn't a big deal. But that night, he came back. This time, I was in the living room, reading by the fire when I heard the knock. 3 sharp raps, just like before. My blood turned to ice and I grabbed that fireplace poker again, and I crept to the door. Through the peephole, I saw him again. The same pale face, same dark eyes, and that same red coat. He said he was cold and that he just needed a little help. His voice was soft and pleading, but there was something underneath it, something that made my skin crawl. I shouted at him to leave, to go away, but he didn't move. He just stood there, smiling that awful grin. I didn't sleep that night. I sat by the fire staring at the door waiting for him to break in, but he didn't. He just stood there all night, knocking every hour on the hour like clockwork. By the 3rd night, I was starting to lose it. I hadn't slept in days, and the constant knocking was driving me nuts. I thought about leaving, but my car wouldn't start. The battery was dead. I must have left on the interior light when I unloaded all the empty boxes. And the snow was now too deep to walk through. I was trapped. That night, he didn't knock. Instead, I heard his voice coming from inside the house. He said, "I'm here." I spun around, my heart racing, and the living room was empty. But I could feel his presence in the air. I grabbed the fire poker and I searched the house room by room, but there was no one there. When I got back to the living room, I saw something that made my blood run cold. On the mantle where I had left a photo of my aunt, there was now a single red rose. I don't know how he got in. I don't know how he left the rose. But I knew I couldn't stay any longer. I bundled up in my coat and boots and I ran out the back door into the snow. The cold bit at my skin, but I didn't care. I had to get away. I didn't get far. The snow was up to my knees. And the wind was howling, blinding me with icy flakes. I stumbled and I fell, my hands sinking into the freezing snow. And that's when I heard it. The sound of footsteps crunching behind me. I turned and there he was, the man, standing a few feet away, his red coat stark against the white snow. and he tells me that I shouldn't have run. I scrambled to my feet and I ran again, but he was faster. He grabbed my arm. His grip was like iron, and he pulled me close. His face was inches from mine, his dark eyes boring into me. He said he just needed a little help. I don't know how I got away. Maybe it was the adrenaline. Maybe he let me go. All I know is that I broke free and I ran, stumbling through the snow until I reached the road. A passing truck driver found me and took me to the nearest town. The police searched the property, but they didn't find anyone. No footprints, no red coat, no red rose. But I know what I saw, and I know what happened. So, if you're ever alone in the middle of nowhere, and you hear a knock at the door, don't answer. And that's the tale of the man in the red coat. And Spooky Mama, yes, I do write all these stories myself. And thank you so much. Average see if it's Ed McMahon, I'll notice through the peephole. And Avril, if you missed it, you can always go listen to it on my YT channel later. The whole story, all of these stories are available over there to listen to. Also, the recordings of my lives are also available on my YT channel after I'm done. So you can always re-listen. Well, yeah, Rich, but like, who knows who does, like, that's what I'm saying. Publisher clearinghouse isn't even a thing anymore. Yeah, like I said Ed McMahon because that's the last time Publisher Clearinghouse was a thing. They really are, Pippa, aren't they? So much scarier. Purple and blue. If Ed McMahon shows up, you should probably run too. Why? I feel like he'd be a nice ghost. But I will tell you, all the time people show up at my house and they knock on my door and ring my doorbell and I literally hide. I don't ever answer. No way. I never answer. What the hell do you want? Why are you showing up at my house unannounced? That's just not proper manners. That's just rude. Why are you showing up, weirdo? Like, no one I'm friends with is going to do this to me, so it's got to be someone I don't know. And anyone who does this kind of stuff, no thank you. Like, I don't want to be friends with somebody that just shows up on people's doorsteps like that. Like, go, like, let me know ahead of, what are you doing? Plus, I don't like, yeah, and same Joanne, and I work from home too, so it's like super rude because I've worked from home for a long time. So like, I used to have like 5 Zoom calls a day, and like, excuse me, I am like, do not disturb my home. This is my home office. Go away. And they're like, ding dong, bang, 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 bang. Like, and it's like always somebody with like, you gutters need right done. You could use a new roof. I'm like, you know what? You could use a foot in your ass. Get off my porch. Exactly, Deborah. Exactly. It freaks me out. I'm like, no, thank you. Phil, trick-or-treaters, that's another story. Trick-or-treaters, I'm like the creepy witch lady that has the glowing scepter and the cat bowl of candy, and I'm like, hey, kids, and they get scared and run away. It's true. I literally scare kids. It's glorious. But that's because I'm really good at being a witch. And Abby, you asked me that last night, and I told you that they're all real stories. They are literally all based off of actually things that happened. And yes, there's an entire section of my stories, the Unexplained series, that is all documented unexplained things. So the answer is still yes. Exactly, Graham. And Shy, yes, I do. The link is in my bio, and Justin can probably also share the link and pin it for you. Well, if it's like my sister or something, that's different. Aw, thank you, Maureen. Yeah, if it's like my sister or something, that's different. Yep, the no soliciting doesn't even work, Rochelle. I tried that too. And then I wrote in all capital letters, thank you, Michelle, in Sharpie on like a piece of like yellow legal pad paper that I taped to the door, very strong words about don't do it. But I said effing, don't effing, right? And they didn't. That magically made it stop. It is creepy, right, Abby? It's so creepy. Yeah. And yeah, Spooky Mama, I do. The Discord link is shared in TT. It's in my TT bio as well. But I'm sure if Justin is willing to, he could pop over to T-Witch and share the Discord link in there eventually. Me too, Faye. I'd be a millionaire. I also definitely have had like tons of situations in the past where I've had like dudes show up at my house without my permission. And like, I'm not kidding you, like one time I was super sick, like so sick. And this dude, I was already like, it was straight up like, it's a long story, but he was in the wrong. I wasn't interested anymore, and he was trying to get me back, whatever. And we just casually dated, but I was like, no, thank you. This dude showed up at my house and was like banging on the door. I'm like on my deathbed, not really, but I'm like in like full blown flu, like, you know what I mean? Like, the cold sweats and like yeah, just like out of it, don't want to talk to anyone. And he was like banging on my door, ringing the doorbell, and then he was like calling me. I like was like, are you for real? Because he knew I was sick. And then I'm like, I don't want your house. I don't want you in here. No. And so then I didn't answer. And then he left an entire bag of like the stuff he had brought over to take care of me. And it was like Vicks shower steamers and cold syrup and all this other stuff. And I was like, yeah, it was so, and I was like, you know what? Thank you. I'm going to use these things. But that was so, like, you know what you could have done? That would have been a way classier move. Just like had that shit delivered from Amazon delivery or something. Do you know what I mean? If you want to take care of me, I don't want you in my face right now. My God. Yeah, or just leave it. Exactly, Sonia. Just leave it and then text me later and say, hey, I left something for you on your porch. No, dude. He called, rang, knocked, called. I was like, and I was honestly waiting for him to come to my bedroom window. I was like, if he comes to the other side of the house, it gave me so much anxiety that I was like, no. Yeah, spooky mama. You too. He sure did, EL3. He sure did. Me too, Michelle. When I'm sick, I don't want to be around anybody. I want to converse with anybody. Exactly, Stardust. Anyway, don't go to people's doors. James said, well, my wife got me ice cream and now I have brain freeze. What kind of ice cream? Chris said, now I'm looking for unwelcome doormats. I don't even have a doormat. You know what's crazy? I realized I have written some of my experiences, little details into horror stories. Like here's one that'll really unsettle you guys. I'm not going to give all of the details right now, but maybe I will on Witchy Wednesday or something. But the part in The Mad Scientist where she pulls out the tub of phones and cameras and wallets and IDs under the bed, that actually happened to me. That actually happened to me in a guy's room, and I freaked out. So I wrote that into that story because it was literally one of the creepiest things that's ever happened to me in my life. Yep, that actually happened to me, and I don't want to get into it, but long story short, he was my roommate, and he ended up actually being like what I thought he ended up in prison, like federal prison, and yep, there's a lot of words I can't even use to explain on TT what. Yeah, so that actually happened to me. He also stalked me for 2 years, and I had to get a restraining order and all kinds of shit. So I don't really like to get into it, but that was a real situation. And as soon as that happened, you know what I did? I called my dad, because my dad's a badass attorney. And I took pictures with my fucking BlackBerry, and I called my dad. And I was like, dude, we have a problem. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it was very honestly, I didn't realize how much PTSD I got from that until later, when I noticed like things like for a while, I swear to God, I saw him in crowds when he was after like he stalked me for 2 years. I swear, like it took me years to not see him in crowds and stuff. It was really crazy. But anyway, so I do, even the random things I write into stories, they all come from somewhere that actually happened to somebody. So it's all actually something horrifying that has happened to someone. Obviously, that's not the context of where it happened to me, but that is just a little look-see-loo into how I write my stories. I do incorporate real events, and that actually happened to me. Yeah, Shadow, that tends to happen, you know. Yeah, Chris, thank you. And you know what's crazy is I almost wasn't. I feel like I don't talk about it a lot, but I literally almost a Lifetime movie. But anyway, And then, what's crazy is he actually got out of prison a couple years ago, and like everyone that was involved in that chapter of my life freaked out and called me. And then guess what? He couldn't help himself, and almost immediately he broke the law again in just the same terrible way, and was thrown right back into prison. So I didn't even have to worry about it because he couldn't even stay out long enough to find me. So he's back in prison in Louisiana. Yep. That's how bad he was. Like, he wasn't even out for, I don't think, 72 hours. Like, I don't think he was even out for 3 days. And he assaulted another woman and was thrown right back into prison. So he deserves to be behind bars. He is a deviant and an unwell person. But it is scary when you have a bunch of people calling you to tell you somebody was let out of prison, and I'm the first person that came to everybody's mind. Like, I was kind of hoping that was a long time ago. Nobody's going to think about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So if they're still thinking about it, then he sure as shit is. Damn. So yeah, he's back in prison now. Thank goodness. And now he's getting old. So I feel like I could. Angola. What's Angola? Do you mean the country? Really, Shadow? That's crazy. Oh, a state prison in Louisiana. Oh, I don't even know the name of it, but it must be. But he's in federal prison. He's not in state. He did this all over the country. I lived with him in West Hollywood, California, in Los Angeles. But he got caught in Louisiana. Anyway, enough about the drawer of IDs. Now you guys know that's true. I'm going to set up the poll and I'll be right back. Evero, which one? And no, he unalived people as well. Omar, is it this? Is the answer the sun? Is it the sun? Yes, Sonia, this actually happens to people. That's why I said I was like almost a Lifetime movie. It was pretty intense. It was pretty intense. And I was super young when it happened, so it really affected how I trust men and like all kinds of things. Like, it very much shaped me because I was very young and naive at the time. I'm not anymore, motherfucker, but I was. Yeah, Ale, that's the scary story for tonight, guys. Exactly, Michelle. It completely changed me. It kind of like ruined that like I don't know, like the naivety of like, I don't know, trusting people and moving from a smaller place to a big city, and like it really it just changed me forever. Especially because after the whole thing happened and we were no longer living in the same apartment, he stalked me for 2 years, and he like would break in and steal my underwear and all kinds of just really creepy ass shit, like horrifying shit. So yeah. It was not a good time. And you know what the craziest part is he was smoking hot. He was a male model, like a famous one. Like if I told you, you guys would give it a goog and you'd probably recognize him. That's the craziest part. He's like a Ted Bundy. He was so hot and charming. He got away with it for so long. It's wild. And I'm not even saying that like being hot, you can't be like obviously a bad person, but I'm saying like he was incredibly charming and good looking and charismatic and like a successful male model, like well known. Like you guys would legit recognize him. Like if you saw him, you'd be like, oh, I definitely saw him in it. Like he was a very well known model. I know, wild. And then like he had like 10 aliases, you guys. Like this dude had been doing this for like, because he was quite a bit older than me. He'd been doing this for like 15, 20 years. Like what the fuck? No, but see, April, he didn't even seem like a bad guy. He was so good at playing it off as like really like, but he was also like, I was like the one girl he wouldn't hurt, and he was like creepily obsessed with me. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like where every other girl's a stupid bitch, but Devin, hi, don't talk to her. She's hi. Like he was like creepily, like I was like in a bubble, like I was like on a pedestal, and every other woman was a POS according to him. But like I was a goddess. I was an angel. Like it was so creepy. Yeah, it was so creepy. And we lived together, so he would take my mail and like write love letters to me on the back of the envelopes and slide it under my door, because I installed my own lock on my door because he creeped me out so bad. And it was so creepy, the whole thing. It was so weird. Anyway, he's in prison now, and I learned a lot. But it was terrifying because I was in a giant city by myself and I didn't know anybody, and it was pretty intense. It was pretty intense. My family was like 2,000 miles away, and yeah, it was scary. Yeah, and he was so hot. So when you said, dear Lord, I know. It was like Ted Bundy was hot. You guys know that, right? Like, that's what's so scary, is when they're like really hot and charming. It's like off-putting. It's not like, I don't know why you expect them to like, I don't know. Yep, exactly, Lady Rose. Good place for him. And thank you, Spooky Mama. Yeah. Thank you so much. You did. You looked up Ted Bundy and he was handsome, right? Yeah. Everybody thinks so. He was handsome. That's why he charmed women so easily. And that's exactly what this guy was doing. And he wasn't a serial unaliver at that, but he was on his way. Does that make sense? He was on his way if they had not stopped him. And I was in the belly of the beast, and I had a lawyer who was a dad. So I was like, you picked the wrong bitch, dude. I'm taking you down. So anyway, enough about that. Okay, you guys, I have the next poll ready, and we have Spearfinger, the hide behind, the door in the water. Oh, thanks for the hugs, guys. You guys are so sweet. The door in the water, the Magnolia Hotel, and the Puck Wedgies. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner in the blue box, and you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. You know what's crazy, you guys, is I haven't talked about that in a really long, like years, and like my heart is racing. Like that's still a trauma, like there is still a trauma response to thinking about that person, which is crazy to me, because I like worked on it like for a very long time, and my heart started racing like crazy. Just like thank you. Like it's like my body like it was like it needs to take deep breath. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, my body memory, exactly. It's like my mind knows, but my body didn't, and all of a sudden my heart just, and I needed to breathe, and yeah, it's crazy, right? So it's crazy how trauma will affect us. Oh, thank you, Beefy. That was really cool. That was so cute. Oh, Beefy, thanks. Hi, Maria. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Rita. Thanks, Mace. Me too. And yes, humans are definitely scarier than any ghosts. April, yeah, how'd you know that? I guess it probably wouldn't be really that hard to Google the clues I gave. Yes, stalking is so unsettling. It makes you like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, it was a long time ago, and I wouldn't even think my body would still have that reaction, but I haven't thought about it in a long time, and immediately like panic. Crazy. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it was actually insane. Yeah, Sonia. And now I do, but back then I didn't. Robin, that's what I was thinking. I was like, shit, too many people are going to do that. Is that what April did? April, is that how did you find it? Well, and I even gave away, I gave away too many clues. I shouldn't have done that. You found it, Lovely? Okay. Yeah. And if you look at what he was known for, you'd be like, oh, damn. Because he was known for something very... Oh, thanks. You're so sweet, Lovely. Yeah. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, Spooky Mama, you're right. It does last through your whole life. And I just like, I don't like to think that he had that much power over me. Do you know what I mean? It's annoying. But then my body was just like freaking out. And it's like, geez. Are you serious, Andrea? What town did you grow up in? Are you serious, Andrea? Oh my God. What town did you grow up in Louisiana? Oh my God. Because if you went to high school with him, you would know it. Because it was all the talk in Louisiana. Because my friend, when he got out, my friend who lives in Louisiana is the one that called me. Oh, you're from Michigan? Okay, then you didn't go to high school with him. He's not from Michigan. But that's also scary that there's one from Michigan where you're like, yep, went to high school with that guy. Like, what the fuck? Lord. Yeah, Mackenzie, it's so bad. It's so bad. Well, and the thing is like, it's just startling when like you're, you know, like it had been years and my friend called and it's like, he's out of prison. I'm like, what? What? Yeah, I know, you're right, Lovely. Somebody did. Somebody went to high school with him. Anyway, the winner is The Hide Behind, which features Jade, but I don't think she's here tonight. Thanks, Mary. I actually haven't talked about that in like a really, really, really long time. Like probably almost a decade. So thanks, guys, for understanding. And thanks, Rita, for the wave lights. And sorry to get a little heavy for a second. Yeah, my friend called me when he got out of prison. Like 4 people did. And that's what made me scared too, because I was like, it's been so long. Like, they still associate me with like, then he's definitely going to be like thinking I'm going to find that girl again. And then 3 days later, he was back in prison because he literally could not break the law. So no worries there. Yeah, of course, Lily. Yeah, it was cathartic kind of, but yeah, exactly, processing it for sure. But so in The Mad Scientist, when I wrote about finding that tub under the bed, that actually did happen to me. April, I don't know, there might be now. I don't know. I feel like someone would have told me if there was. But I don't know. Okay, I'll be right back with The Hide Behind. God, I really hope there's not a Netflix series about him. I don't know if I can handle that. That's what I was just going to say. Yep, lovely. I was just going to say, I don't know if I can handle that. I really hope there's not a Netflix about him. I hope it's somebody else, because that would just be like very, yeah, very weird. Hi, Jade. Your story's about to be told. Perfect timing. Thanks, Matt. Oh, really lovely. Yeah, I don't think I would ever want to be involved in the some type of reproduction of his life, especially considering that I'm one of the people that helped take him down. I just don't feel like that's... No thanks. Hard pass. Okay, I'll be right back with The Hide Behind. Quick swig. Oh my god, look at Jungle Blitzy as a witch kitty. Oh my god. Catmandu. Did you guys see that? He was a witch kitty. Why is he so cute? That was so cute. Hi, Candy. It kicked you out, Lean? That's so weird. Tracy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Also, if you guys could do me a big favor before I start the next story, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner? And there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Also, sharing it to your stories and sharing it with your friends is great. And Tracy, we just finished voting and I'm about to start the next story right now. Welcome in. And we vote each time I end a story, and then I read the next one. And I write all of these myself, and they're available on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast ones. And guys, welcome in Tracy to the porch. She's new. Spicy Kitten, you got filtered? Oh no, what did you say? Try to type it again in different words. Cade, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. April, thank you for the cozy cryptids. Hi, Leslie. Oh, hi, Jax. And is it Asa or Asa? I didn't know you could rewind, lovely. I didn't know that. You can rewind on... Hi, Snyder. There's usually more than this, actually. It's a little slower tonight. I didn't know you could rewind on YT. What? That's... I'm sorry, but YT's the best. YT's the best. Anyway, we love TikTok Shop. Hi, Danica. Hi, Brittany. All right, guys, quick swig and I'll be right back. Asa. Hi, Asa. How you guys doing? Hi, Jax. Hi, Asa. Thank you, Michelle. I love him. He's so cute. And yes, Brittany, thank you everybody for who posts keywords in the chat like Brittany did right here. It helps a lot. It's also funny to see you guys make up funny sentences. Like JK always says, why is there Sasquatch hair in my hairbrush? And like the funniest stuff. So feel free. It helps the AI categorize what our live is about. And it sends it out to other people who like cryptids and Are You Afraid of the Dark and spooky stories and all that kind of stuff. And helps us find more cool people to hang out on the porch with us. So thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Ray. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the stillness in the cedars. Thank you, Tracy. Thanks for the follow, Laura. I grew up thinking I knew what silence sounded like. It was the hush that followed snowfall, or the way the woods paused at dusk before the crickets began. But the silence I met in the Oregon Coast Range wasn't peace. It felt like something was always watching. I came there late in the season, chasing the remains of a vanished town called Brookmere, a place wiped from maps after a landslide in 1924. My research was on forgotten logging camps, how they disappeared, and what they left behind. The archives had one photograph: a dozen men in suspenders standing beside a cedar as wide as a boxcar. Behind them, the forest was already trying to swallow the mill. My good friend Jade lives outside Portland. And so she decided to meet up with me for the adventure. And we hit the road. The Oregon Coast Range has a smell that never leaves your clothes. The scent of wet bark, rust, and salt from the Pacific, pushing through every crack in the mountains. It rains there in ways that erase boundaries. And after 3 days in, every step squelched. The trail, if you could call it that, was a faded survey line. Jade told me that the old loggers around here had a legend, and they called it the Hide Behind. A creature that lived in the cedars, always out of sight, feeding on men who strayed too far from camp. Justin. They said it moved faster than the human eye could track, slipped behind the nearest trunk each time you turned. It left no tracks, no bones, only an absence that smelled of rot and sawdust. We told ourselves it was probably just folklore born of too many nights with too much whiskey. But once we were in that dripping green labyrinth, I caught myself glancing behind every few steps. By the 4th day, the rain turned violent. The temperature dropped 20 degrees in an hour, and the wind came up the gorge like a freight train. Jade and I agreed that we couldn't make it back to the car before dark. Our map showed a fire watch cabin built in the 1930s a mile off the trail near the ridge. If it was still standing, it would most likely be dry. So we followed the map, desperate for shelter. The hike there felt wrong. The forest wasn't swaying with the wind, it was bracing against it. The cedars leaned inward, their crown knitting into a ceiling that blocked the gray sky. Moss hung like soaked wool, and every gust brought down needles in sheets. Oh, thank you, Emily. When we finally saw the cabin, It barely looked like a structure. Just a shadow of timbers, the roof sagging under years of rain. Jade pushed the swollen door open. Inside smelled of mildew and cold ash. Someone had left a rusted stove, bunk beds, and a shelf of water-swollen logbooks. The roof leaked, but only in a few thin streams. I lit a small lantern from my pack and I spread out my sleeping bag on the top bunk. The rain on the roof was a steady roar, and I told Jade that we would just stay one night and then we could hike back down in the morning. And that was when we heard the first knock. Not thunder, not a branch. It sounded like a deliberate tap near the back wall, like knuckles on wood. We froze, waiting for a second, but nothing. Then the wind rose again and we both decided it must have been a branch shifting. But an hour later came another sound. Footsteps, soft but heavy, circling the cabin. I held my breath. There shouldn't have been anyone out there. The nearest road was 10 miles away. The steps stopped at the door. I killed the lantern. The rain went on, louder now. My ears rang from the pressure of listening, and we laid in our bunks, frozen and terrified in the dark. When nothing else happened, we must have dozed off. Then, at some point, deep into the night, a crash jolted both of us awake. Jade screamed, and we both looked at the back window, which had burst inward. Shards of glass glittered on the floor in the lantern light. Wind poured through, carrying cedar needles and the smell of rot. There was something stuck in the frame. A strip of bark peeled as thin as skin that curled inward like a hand. I told myself it must have blown loose from a tree. I told myself anything to try to stay calm enough to pack up my gear. But when I turned to grab my jacket, Jade was frozen, staring at what appeared to be wet footprints on the floorboards, leading from the window toward the door. They stopped halfway across the room. We both looked at each other, and we bolted. Outside, the storm had eased into a thick mist. Our headlamps caught only the trunks, endless and slick. Every time I looked left or right, there was motion at the edge of my sight. Something shifting just beyond our beams of light. I began counting steps to keep from panicking. And that was when I realized the forest had gone completely still. No rain, no wind, no insects. And then the smell hit, wet cedar and iron. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Akaro. Ahead, a hollow opened in the trees where the fog pooled like water. In the clearing stood the remains of Brookmere. Only the sawmill's foundation survived. Stones half buried in moss. The rest mere outlines, mounds where cabins once stood. Rusted saw blades blooming with lichen. In the center rose a single cedar stump taller than me, its heart split by lightning. Something moved behind it. I saw only a flash. It was pale, with smooth flesh. And then it was gone, replaced by a tree trunk. Lovely. The air trembled with a faint vibration like a breath sucked through wood. I stepped backward, accidentally stepping onto Jade's foot, and we both screamed. We were both on edge. Then another flash, this time on the opposite side. The thing was circling us, but staying hidden by the trees, always just beyond sight. Thank you, Jade. Jade looked at me with growing concern and stuttered, I think it's the hide behind. The story said if you caught it in full view, it killed you. Now maybe that was superstition, maybe not, but neither of us wanted to test it out. So we just turned and we ran. Thank you, wonderful. Thank you, spooky bestie. Thank you, Puerto Rican. We ran as fast as we could without tripping. The forest didn't seem to have directions anymore. Each trunk looked the same. The mist folded sound so our own footsteps sounded like they came from everywhere. I ran until my lungs burned. And then I stumbled into another clearing, smaller, ringed with fallen logs. At the center stood an old logging skid. Chains still wrapped around a buried axle. Hanging from one of the chains was a shape that I thought was canvas until it moved. It was a coat, a human coat rotted through, the fabric stiff with age. Beneath it, bone gleamed. My stomach turned. Someone had died here long ago, left hanging when the crew fled the landslide. The bones clattered softly as the wind returned. I felt the silence break open behind me. I didn't have to look to know that it was there. I caught a glimpse over my shoulder, an arm elongated and jointless, sliding back behind a trunk that should have been too narrow to hide behind. Every instinct said to run. Downhill. Water finds the road downhill, and the road would find us safety. So we barreled through undergrowth until we saw the faint glow of my car's reflectors through the fog. The shape behind us moved in rhythm with our motion, each time vanishing as I turned around. When we reached the car, I didn't stop to look back. We piled in and we were off. I drove until daylight hit the windshield. When we finally reached the ranger station, the man on duty stared when I handed over the coordinates. He told us that the Firewatch cabin had collapsed 10 years ago, and that road had been closed since the landslide. He must have seen my hand shaking because he poured us coffee and asked what we had seen. We told him it was nothing, just a bad storm. But when Jade glanced down at her sleeve, there was a smear of sap across the fabric. Not amber or pine, but black and thick and still wet. That night, we stayed in a motel just outside of Tillamook, and we woke to the smell of cedar. The curtain swayed even though the window was shut. And then suddenly, we heard the faint, deliberate sound of knuckles on wood. And that's the tale of the stillness in the cedars featuring Jade. All right, guys, I'm just going to set up the poll really quickly for the next vote. And if you guys could do me a big favor, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner and hit that repost circle with the 2 arrows chasing each other? That puts my live into your friend's FYP, and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. I'll be right back. You're so funny, Jade. I'll be right back with the next poll. Okay, guys, the next poll is ready. We have the Devil's Tramping Ground versus... Oh, hold on. I got a puzzle piece. Hold on. Okay. We have the Devil's Tramping Ground, Cahokia Mounds, The Hitchhiker, The Midnight Movie, and Eliza Crawford's Ghost. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner. There's a blue box, and you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Who is it going to be? We have The Devil's Tramping Ground, Cahokia Mounds, The Hitchhiker, The Midnight Movie, and Eliza Crawford's Ghost. Hazel Eyes 300 minutes is amazing. Tell him I will do a chupacabra story. I definitely need to do one. It's on my list. I'll do a chupacabra for sure. And the winner is The Midnight Movie. And this is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. So if you guys are fans of Are You Afraid of the Dark, you will especially enjoy this. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I do write and record all these stories myself. And they're all available on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. If you just look for Porch Lore, you will find me, and all the links are in my bio too. So did I, Josh. That was the inspiration for my channel. Good night, Lily. Sweet dreams. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, so sit back and relax. Grab a beanbag chair. Grab a hammock. Watch the shooting stars. Sit back and relax, and welcome to the porch. I'll be right back with the tale of the Midnight Movie. Everybody welcome in a new porch pal, Josh. Spiker Mom, Tales from the Crypt was amazing too. But that guy at the beginning kind of scared me. Also, thank you, Tao and Persnickety Coat, for tapping. I see you guys down there, and it means a lot. Thank you so much for your taps, guys. Yes, Tales from the Crypt was amazing. I wasn't shit talking about the Crypt Keeper. I was saying that he was creepy. Oh, you mean that he shit talked in between stories? Yeah, he did. He did. And I still watched it, and I thought he was funny, but he just kind of like, I was a little young for it, and he just kind of scared me a little bit. Like, I was like, oh. He was just unsettling. ELs. I love that EL. That's hilarious. I wish. Well, hello, kitties. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Midnight Movie. You think I'm a lot prettier? Lovely. I feel like we kind of look a lot alike. You like that impression? Thanks. Aw, I'm so glad, Sonia. I just brought back everybody's Crypt Keeper memories with that. Tao, thanks. I love how Esmeralda just came out of the woodwork just to be like, stop. Oh, I love you, Esmeralda. Hi, Chris. I missed you tonight. I hope you had a good Saturday, cutie. Sonia, I love that. That's so funny. That's the point where you tell your dad, Dad, it's just this really spooky podcast. You should check it out. Fun fact, my highest demographic of people is women. Not surprising, but also kind of surprising. And I'll tell you this. I almost named my channel Devin After Dark. And how much you want to bet if I had done that, majority of my demographic would not be women. Me too, Mace. I would have thought more men because of my voice, and it does have a bit of a sexual connotation to it. It is sultry, and you would think, as I don't know, even men would want to, their moms told them bedtime stories. I think there's something maternal and comforting about a woman telling you a story. So I would have imagined more men would join, but my demographic is highly women. But I imagine if I had chosen the name Devin after dark and I didn't have good friends who told me, wait a minute, girl, no, then my demographic would probably be very different. Right, I know. Which part's sad but true, see? Yeah, Matt, for sure. No, I have lots of men. There's still a huge chunk of the pie chart's men. I'm just saying the highest demographic is women. I still have a lot of men. I have a lot of men from the UK, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. Faye, I'm not surprised at all. Men love tarot. They love to go and like try to solve their problems with tarot. I know a lot of guys that like are almost like borderline weirdly addicted. I know a couple guys that like go to from one TikTok like tarot card reader to another and like literally make major life decisions. Like yeah, I'm serious. Chris, thank you. Aw, Chris, thanks. I actually know of one specifically that I like had to tell, like, dude, are you serious? Like, that's like, and I feel like he had what you call like the spiritual psychosis. Like he couldn't even like make decisions anymore without like, and it wasn't like he had some trusted one person that like he was just like going randomly into. It was wild. It was wild. Like any single psychic he could find. It was so weird. And he only did the group readings. He only did the, when they do the group readings, and then he'd be like, it says take what resonates, and it resonate for me. I'm like, you're nuts. You're nuts. Matt, you're so funny. I love it too. I have nothing against it, but I find it really interesting that there's so many, I don't know, like those same men won't even take advice from like their girlfriends probably. You know what I'm saying? Yep, that's exactly what that is, Lovely. How'd you guess? It says 100%. I'm going to pin that. Kim, are you still in here? Anybody still in here who knows about the person I'm talking about? Oh, Jade is. Codependency. Isn't that funny? Because that's exactly what it is. That's a lovely nail on the head. I never met a more codependent man in my entire life than that person. Yep. Yep, do you see that, Kim? Lovely called it codependency, I think. Kim said, ew. Amy, thank you. And Chris, thanks. I love that cardinal. God, it's cute. Look at him. He's so happy on the little ball. Do you think Virgil likes tarot? Definitely. Virgil's really cool. Yeah, where has Toot Toot been? That's a good question. Where is Toot Toot? That's a good question. Oh my God, the pizza capybara. Archangelo, thank you. I'm trying to remember the name of his grandma's account. Damn it. Why do I remember Toot Toot but not her name? And she's like a loyal porch pal that comes in all the time. Completely blanking. I wish somebody could remember. Do you remember her name, Lovely? Or Justin? Does anybody remember her name? Porch Lore dating app? What? What do you mean? What do you mean? We're talking about this lady and her grandbaby. His name's they call him Toot Toot, and he loves listening to me. He's like 4, and I say goodnight to him, and he gets like so excited. I don't know, Faye. Esmeralda said Porch Lore dating app. I was like, what? And then Faye said, are we all hooking up? Yeah, his nickname's Toot Toot. He's 4. Yeah, I hope she's okay too, Kim. Do you guys remember what her screen name is? I feel terrible that I don't. And I'm like so used to seeing it. If I saw it, I would recognize it, but I can't think of it. I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like Justin or Danielson, but Danielson's been MIA. If I saw it, I recognize it too. But I feel like Danielson is the one that would know, and he's been MIA. No, it wasn't Mimsy. Mimsy doesn't have little kids. Oh, Sonia, I was actually offered that when I lived in LA, and I honestly regret not doing it because the money that I would have made was crazy. And I'm like, no one would even know. Couldn't even see my face. No one would even know. So yeah. Pisces, thank you for your first gift. So sweet. Yeah, the money is crazy. But I feel like I would laugh. I feel like I'd laugh. Oh, Millsy, you don't even understand. We talk about how this is stuck in all of our heads everywhere we go. And I always am like, I'll be like in a store. I'm like, hi, 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 hi. And like, no one knows what that is. And I'm like, in my mind, like, hi, hi. That's literally, and you know it's true. You know you guys all have that. It's that one part. It's the one specific part of the song that you guys have stuck in your heads. I know it is because we all have it stuck in our heads. Here, I'll start over because we got to start the story. But here, you'll know. I know you guys know. For some reason, it's the one part that's like stuck. Of course, Deborah, I know you guys like when I do that. Yeah, see, Jade said it too. I know, yeah, and Kim. I love when you guys like that. Here it is. Here it comes. Ready? Like, that's all day. San says, I'm new here. What is this? I'm new here. What is this? I'm actually a professional singer, Sans. You just made it in time. I'm in the middle of singing. I'm just kidding. Terry, you're absolutely right, Sherry. Thank you. You're right. Good memory. It is Terry. Thank you. You're 100% right. I'm going to contact Terry. Thank you. I knew I would remember as soon as somebody told me. Sans, hi. I'm a spooky bedtime storyteller, and I'm about to start my next story. We were just goofing. Did you hear me clear my throat? I did clear my throat. I was like, nom, nom, nom. Faye, you were just doing that in Ralph's. I love it. Esmeralda said her next ringtone. Dude, if that was your ringtone, people would be so weirded out. Hi, you can do it. I used to live in Houston. No Aussie. Grilled cheese is coming up next. Just new boot goofing. Just spooky boot goofing. You get it, Faye. You get it. That was my reference. I'm glad somebody got it. New boot goofing. Woo! Woo! Me too. I love that. I love it. Just new boot goop. What do you say? On layaway. Got these babies on layaway. Woo! Look at those. Okay. Submitted for the approval. Aw, you can do it. Thanks. I used to be a reporter for Newsfix at Channel 39 in Houston. I love Houston. My best friend lives in Katy. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Palace Society. This is the tale of the Midnight Movie. Oh my God, you're right, Esmeralda. 3 payments. 3 payments. 3 payments. Hi, Misty. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Don. Tonight, we've got a spine-chilling tale about a forgotten theater, an ancient film, and a mysterious screening that did more than just entertain. In a world of digital streaming and blockbuster cinemas, the small independent movie houses are slowly dying off. Thank you, Sands. Relics of a forgotten time. But what if one of those dying theaters found a way to bring people back? Not with a new release, but with a special showing of a classic film. The story you're about to hear takes place in one such theater, where the flickering images of the screen become more than just a movie. They become a portal to something terrifying. Thank you, Chris. Grab your popcorn, settle in, and enjoy the tale of the Midnight Movie. It all started with the Riverview Theater. Once a local gem, it had been around since the 1930s. But by the time our story begins, it was on the verge of collapse. The popcorn machine was broken more often than not, and the seats were worn, and the crowd had dwindled down to a few loyal patrons clinging to nostalgia. Charlie, the theater manager, was desperate to save it. He had tried everything. Reruns of cult classics, indie films, even turning the place into a trivia night venue. But nothing worked. The bills piled up and the Riverview was on the brink of shutting its doors for good. And then, one night, as Charlie was sifting through a box of old film reels in the basement, he found something strange. It was a reel he'd never seen before, marked only with a handwritten label. Nosferatu, Director's Cut. The original 1922 vampire film, Nosferatu, was iconic. But this version, Charlie had never heard of a director's cut. Still, something about it intrigued him. What if this was the answer? A rare, unseen version of a vampire classic could be just the thing to bring in a crowd. Midnight showing, Halloween week. Perfect. So Charlie jumped into action. He slapped together posters, reached out to local horror enthusiasts, and promoted the event on social media. And his taglines were bold. Come see the lost director's cut of Nosferatu and experience what was never meant to be seen. Slowly the buzz started building, and by the night of the showing, something incredible happened. The theater was packed. People came from all over, drawn by the promise of a rare cinematic experience. Horror fans, curious locals, and even film students crowded into the small lobby, chattering excitedly as the old movie posters hanging on the walls looked down on them. Thank you, Jenna. And then, just before midnight, the lights dimmed and the crowd funneled into the screening room. The projector came to life, and the eerie strains of Nosferatu's haunting score filled the theater. Charlie watched from the back, feeling an odd mix of excitement and unease. Good night, Jade. Love you. Something about the film reel had unsettled him, but he couldn't quite place why. As the film began, the audience sat mesmerized by the iconic images, the flickering frames of Count Orlok creeping through the shadows, the eerie, exaggerated movements, the stark contrast between light and dark. It was exactly what they had come for. But something was off. At first, it was subtle. Quick flashes in the film. Strange cuts that hadn't been in the original. Charlie, watching from the back of the room, noticed it immediately. A figure would appear in a scene that shouldn't have been there, standing just in the background. Barely noticeable, but there. The figure was gaunt, dressed in a black robe, its face obscured by shadows. No one in the audience seemed to notice these flashes but Charlie. As the movie went on, these flashes became longer and more frequent. The figure started to appear in every scene. Always just at the edge of the frame, lurking. And then, halfway through the film, it happened. The screen went black for a moment, just a flicker. And then the image returned, but it was different. It wasn't a scene from the 1922 classic. The screen now showed the theater itself in real time. The image was grainy, but clear enough. The audience murmured in confusion as they saw themselves on the screen. Sitting in their seats, watching the movie. The camera angle moved slowly, sweeping across the rows, as if someone or something was walking through the theater watching them. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Bed. Charlie's heart raced. This wasn't part of the film. He glanced at the projector booth, but the operator inside seemed as puzzled as everyone else. The camera on screen panned to the back row where Charlie was standing. His stomach dropped as he saw himself on the screen, staring directly into the lens. And then the figure appeared. It wasn't on the film anymore. It was in the theater, moving through the aisles, unseen by the audience's eyes, but fully visible on the screen. The gaunt figure with his black robe stalked closer and closer, heading toward the projector booth. People in the audience began to panic. Some laughed nervously, thinking that it was all part of the show. But others felt the rising tension, the oppressive weight of something terribly wrong. Charlie tried to move, but it's like his legs were frozen in place, and he couldn't tear his eyes away from the screen. It was like he was mesmerized. Suddenly, the film flickered again, and the figure was standing in the projector booth, right behind the operator. His hands slowly reaching out. The operator didn't see it. He was still adjusting the reels, oblivious to the terror creeping up behind him. The audience gasped collectively as the figure's hand touched the back of the operator's neck. And in that instant, the screen went black, and the lights in the theater flickered off. Panic erupted. People screamed for the exits, but the doors wouldn't budge. The projector flickered back to life. But this time, there was no film. Instead, the gaunt figure appeared on the screen, staring out into the theater. Its face still hidden in the shadow. And then, one by one, the theatergoers began to vanish. They would just blink out of existence, swallowed by the darkness that seemed to seep through the screen. Charlie was paralyzed, unable to move, unable to speak. He watched in horror as the audience disappeared, leaving the theater empty and silent. When the authorities arrived the next morning, they found the theater completely abandoned. The projector was still running, playing the final frames of Nosferatu on an endless loop. Of the dozens of people who entered that night, not a single one remained. Charlie was never found. The last known footage of him came from the security camera in the theater lobby, showing him walking into the screening room moments before the midnight showing. And then, nothing. The Riverview Theater closed down shortly after, condemned and left to rot. Locals say that on cold, quiet nights, you can still hear the faint hums of the projector. And if you look through the broken windows, you might see shadows moving on the screen, like flickering remnants of the lost souls from that night. Thank you, Lacey. Some say the reel that Charlie found was cursed, that it was never meant to be seen by human eyes. Others claim that it was a portal, a gateway to something far more sinister than an old vampire film. But one thing is certain. Those who attended the Riverview Theater that night are gone. And the film? Well, it hasn't been seen since. So the next time you sit down to watch a late night movie, especially one on an old reel, remember, some films take more than your attention. They take your soul. And that's the tale of the midnight movie. Thank you, Mace. I appreciate your 10 out of 10s. You're very sweet. Hi, Tommy. Thank you for the money gun. And Mace, thank you for the hand hearts. Bed of Dust, thank you for the cozy cryptids. Cynthia, thank you for the cozy cryptid. Thanks, Deborah. Oh, thanks, Matt. Yeah, I really like that one too, actually. That episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark really freaked me out when I was a kid. Oh, thank you, Spooky Scary Sherry. And thank you, Abigail. Thanks for the money gun again, Tommy. I appreciate you. Uh-oh, firing up the girl. Thank you, Nami. And if you are new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. I'm here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. But I do go after a lot. Tana, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Your son's name is Devin? I love that, Cynthia. It's usually mostly boy name, for sure. I do write and record all these stories myself, so if you want to listen to them, they are available on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. They are available. There's a bedtime stories playlist where you can listen to all of these. Also, my lives are posted to my YT as soon as they are over, because I am currently live over there as well. So hello to all of you listening to me over on YT and on Twitch. Thank you for being here tonight. Happy Saturday, and welcome to the porch. And yes, Mandy, one more story. So grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, watch the shooting stars in the sky, sit back and relax, and welcome to the porch. I will be right back with the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. It's grilled cheese time. Bed of Dust, I love that you're sitting in your car. Aw, I like my car is my safe place, and I do that too. I just hang out in my car sometimes. Oh, thank you, Misty. And Deborah, thank you for the sing together and the heart puff and the live. Oh my God, really, Cynthia? That makes me feel really cool. That makes me feel so cool. You have me on an outside speaker at night by a fire. I feel very cool right now. Thanks. Hi, Cynthia. Tell your raccoons I said hi. You have any raccoons around? Animals love my voice. You might get some now. You're in the countryside? Yeah, then I bet you the raccoons will start coming out. Possums are, I'm like a little animal whisperer. I love them. Matt, you do? I love that. Hi, Rachel. Long time no see. All right, I'll be right back with Sycamore Diner. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society, this is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. But that night, something about the storm, the long drive, and that growling pit in my stomach convinced me otherwise. I was hungry. It was late October, and I was headed back to campus after a weekend visit with my friends in North Carolina. I had a midterm on Monday, and my plan had been to drive straight through, 5 hours, no stops. But then came the rain. One of those cold, slanted, whispery rains that creeps into your bones and makes the windshield wipers sound like a heartbeat. I had taken the wrong exit trying to bypass traffic, and I ended up on a 2-lane back road, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and power lines. And that's when I saw the neon sign. SYCAMRE Diner. The O in Sycamore was flickering like it hadn't worked right in years, but the rest was lit up in a cherry red neon, a tiny beacon in the middle of nowhere. I figured I'd grab a quick bite, maybe some coffee, check my map, and get back on the highway. But I should have just kept driving. I should have known something was off the second I stepped inside. But the bell over the door jingled, but not like a normal bell. It made this sharp metallic ping that echoed longer than it should have. The air inside was warm, almost too warm. It smelled like grilled onions and pancake syrup. The place looked like it had been yanked straight from 1957. Checkerboard floor, red vinyl booths, a long counter with spinning stools, even a jukebox in the corner that looked like it hadn't worked in decades. And the people? They all stopped and looked at me the second I walked in. Not in a rude way, just quiet, like they weren't expecting me. Like I'd walked into the middle of a sentence that no one wanted to finish. A waitress, tall, with a beehive hairdo and a light blue uniform, waved me over. "You get caught in the rain, sweetheart," she said, handing me a laminated menu. I nodded, still trying to shake off that weird feeling. Yeah, the highway's a mess. She chuckled and patted my shoulder. "Well, you're safe here. Sycamore's always open for travelers." I sat down at a corner booth. The vinyl creaked, and I remember the jukebox shifted songs by itself and started playing some slow doo-wop ballad that I didn't recognize. I looked around and everyone looked normal. Sort of. There was a trucker with a thick gray beard, drinking coffee at the counter. A young couple whispering to each other in a booth by the jukebox. And an older woman stirring tea, like she was lost in thought. But they all had the same look in their eyes. Like they were there, but also somewhere else. Like they were watching me out of the corner of their eye, even when they were looking down. The waitress came back with coffee, strong, hot, and surprisingly good. And I ordered a grilled cheese with fries. Simple, safe. She wrote it down with one of those clicky pens and said, "Don't worry, it's on the house tonight." And that was my second red flag. No diner just gives food away. While I waited, I took out my phone to check the map. No signal, and I mean nothing. No bars, no Wi-Fi, not even GPS. Just a blank screen with a spinning wheel. I glanced out the foggy window, and the storm was still going, but now the wind had picked up. I could see the power lines swaying like jump ropes in the dark. But the diner stayed perfectly lit, not even a flicker. The food came fast. Too fast, like under 5 minutes. But it looked amazing. Golden bread, gooey cheese, crispy fries, with a little metal cup of ketchup on the side. I took a bite. Delicious. I mean, I've eaten at a lot of diners. Greasy spoons, college joints, and roadside shacks, but this was hands down the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The fries were perfect, and the coffee never ran out. Every time I took a sip, it was somehow full again. I was halfway through the sandwich when the trucker got up to leave. He walked right past my table, nodded once, and whispered, "Don't stay past midnight." That's all he said. What? But he was already out the door. The waitress gave me a tight smile and walked over, collecting his empty mug. "Old Earl, he's always saying weird stuff. Just ignore him." But I couldn't. Something about his voice stuck with me. Something about the way he looked at me. Not like I was a customer, but like I was in danger. I checked the clock over the register. 11:42. I figured I had just enough time to finish my fries, grab the check, and head out. I still had at least 3 hours left on the road. But when I stood up, the lights flickered. Just once, and then again, and then everything in the diner stopped moving. The couple by the jukebox froze mid-sentence. The woman with the tea stopped stirring, her spoon hanging in midair. The waitress, her hand reached out for a mug, just stopped, like someone hit pause on the entire scene. I took a step back, and the jukebox buzzed, glitched, and restarted a new track. I could still move, but no one else could. And then I heard it. Not music, not a storm, a voice. Not coming from anyone I could see. Just a whisper that seemed to echo through the walls themselves. I backed toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest, and I turned the knob. Locked. Of course it was locked. I tried the windows, but they were sealed shut. I started banging on the glass and shouting, but no one was outside. Just the wind and the rain and that flickering red sign. SYCAMRE. I turned back toward the dining room, and everyone was gone. Not frozen anymore, just gone. The booths were empty. No plates, no crumbs, no mugs. No sign that anyone had ever even been there. Except for my plate. Still warm and still half-eaten. And then I saw the waitress. She was standing by the kitchen doors, her silhouette backlit by flickering fluorescent light. Her face was wrong. Thanks, Chaparita. The same smile, but her eyes were empty, black and endless, like someone had painted over them. You shouldn't be here, honey, she said in that same cheerful voice. Not yet. I stumbled back, knocking over a chair as she took one slow step toward me. The others, they were waiting, but you just wandered in. She raised a hand, and the walls began to shimmer. Literally shimmer like heat waves on asphalt. The checkered floor rippled and the red booths started to fade, becoming outlines and then shadows and then nothing. And then I saw it, underneath the illusion. It was charred wood, cracked tile, broken beams, and black soot. Like the diner had burned down long ago. I ran. I don't even know how I got out. 1 second, I was inside, and the next, I was on the side of the road, soaked to the bone and gasping for air. My car was still there, parked on gravel that didn't even look like a lot anymore. Just weeds and puddles. No neon sign, no glowing windows, just nothing. I drove back to campus that night in silence. No music, no Porch Lore podcast. I kept glancing in the rear view mirror, half expecting to see that red neon flicker back to life. I didn't tell anyone, not for weeks. Not until I finally looked up Sycamore Diner on a local history site. And I found it. It burned to the ground in 1972. A gas leak. The whole place went up at midnight, and everyone inside was killed. 5 patrons, a waitress, and a cook. The photo in the article? The same checkerboard floor, the same red booths, the same neon sign. SYCAMORE. And in the corner of the photo, that same waitress, smiling. I never took that back road again. I don't even drive at night anymore if I can help it. And every time I see a neon diner sign, something in me flinches just a little. Because I know I was there. And I know I wasn't supposed to be. But the part that keeps me up sometimes, the part that really makes my stomach turn, that was the best damn grilled cheese I've ever had. And I didn't even pay for it. And that's the tale of the Sycamore Diner. And thank you guys. I love you all very much. Thank you. I love spending my evenings with you. I hope you guys had a good Saturday. Good night, Andrew. And I will see you guys again tomorrow, same time, same place, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Monday, a new story premieres live on my YT channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you would like to join us. And if you enjoyed tonight, don't forget to give me a follow. So if you fall off the porch, you can find us again. And thank you everybody who gave me beautiful gifts tonight, who tapped, who helped comment in the chat. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. I hope you get some wonderful sleep. If you aren't able to fall asleep, don't worry. Go to my YT channel, Porch Lore, and there's a bedtime stories playlist. And I promise you will be out after the second story. Also, all my live recordings are available over there as soon as I'm done, so you can watch them, or if you missed part of something, feel free to check them out there too. And I hope you guys get some wonderful sleep, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And don't forget, stay spooky.